Hey everyone, Angus Campbell here. Sunday the 28th of June 2020. So it was a couple of days ago now, Friday, when we took the Lightning here behind me out for its second test run, and we encountered some problems, as you saw in the video that I published yesterday. Anyway, thanks to lots of feedback, comments, information, advice and suggestions from several subscribers. So thanks to Johnny, Paul, Thomas for all your inspiration. Then we think it is probably chronic pre-ignition. And so the first thing that I'm going to do to try and address this is to back the timing off. We'll firstly check the timing, back it off, but also possibly look to adjust the carburation as well to maybe make it a bit richer. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start it up now. I've not done anything to it since we brought it home. And just to see if when it's cold and with the choke on, whether we hear any of that pinking stroke knocking. My hope and assumption is that we won't. So we'll just give it a quick short run now and see what we get to. Right, we're all set. Just check the bike over, check the fluids, etc. Still got plenty of petrol in the tank. Still no problems with the tank, so that flow liner sealer's really done the job, I think. There was one comment, I think from Paul, suggesting that it might be good to confirm the fuel flow from the tank through the filters, but I did drill out the what would you call them, spigots for the fuel taps, and actually when I tickle the carbs there's tons of fuel that comes out of it, so I don't think that's an issue at all. So we're all primed up, ready to go. Let's give her a very short run just to see what she sounds like. Okay, choke on, tickled. Good. Well, that sounds fine to me. She was sounding really crisp and no noises. So I think we're on the right route to a diagnosis. So the next thing to do is we'll get the points cover off and we'll check to make sure that nothing's opened up, but more importantly we'll go back and do the timing again, and then we'll back it off. And I think the pinking problem was mainly on the right hand cylinder, and so we'll back it off 2 or 3 degrees, I think. And what I'm probably going to do as well is just richen it up a little at the low end of the red race for a start, just by turning in the idle screws, maybe a quarter of a turn as well. And I think we're just going to need to continue to tune this with road tests, etc. But anyway, it doesn't appear to be anything too serious, although as you're all aware, if you do run the engine for too long with bad pinking or knocking, it will hold the piston. We want to avoid that. So it'll be a case of gradual tuning up, short test runs up and down the road, and we'll take it from there. So first job then, let's have a look at the points and the timing again. And we've done this several times before, but you've just got to keep doing it. Right, points cover off. Nothing looked untoward, but
except for the fact that the points gaps look a little large, and they should be in the range 12 to 17 thou. So I've just put a 15 thou feeler gauge in there, and there's tons of slack. They're actually more like, they're over 20 thou gaps, so they're way out. So the first thing I'm going to do is gap them properly, and I'll take them down to round about the minimum 12 to 15 thou. So let's do that job first, and then we'll check timing. Right, I've altered the points gaps to around about 13 or 14 thou. They were both over 20, actually nearer 22, 23 thou miles out. I can't quite understand how I've done that. I'm sure I checked the gap on those. So the other concern then is whether or not there's some wear going on in here. So I had oiled the Auto Advance cam, but I've now re-oiled the felts as well. I'm just wondering whether the arms on the points and the nylon arms are wearing. But anyway, I've also checked the static timing. That was good. I won't going to bore you with that again. But I have just backed off both points by just a couple of degrees or so, and we'll do another test run now.
Right, here we are next day, all set up to give another test run. But first of all, in the last clip, I was waffling on about the fact that I was concerned that maybe there was some wear going on with the points arms, and that might have caused the points to increase the gap. Well, ignore that, because it's an absolute load of rubbish, because it's the other way around. If the points arms wear, then the gaps will close, they won't open up. So the points gaps were actually, I know I said 22 thou, so they're probably nearer 25 or even a bit more. It's all down to me. I can only imagine that I accidentally picked the wrong feeler gauge and didn't notice, but they were both the same, the points settings. So I've obviously used the wrong reference somewhere. So anyway, yes, if the points arms wear, then the points gaps will close, not open. Anyway, we're all gapped up now at about 13, 14 thou, the lower end of the range. The range is 12 to 17 thou. Imperial, of course. But we're all set then to give another run. As I say, she's timed up with a couple of degrees retarded over the static crank setting. So we'll give her a run now, and if that's successful, then of course the next thing is another road test. But at the moment, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining, so it won't be today. But anyway, let's give her a shout now anyway and see what she's like. Tickle on both sides. Tons of fuel coming through, so there's no restriction in the fuel taps or the filters from the flow liner. We bored all that out anyway, as I say, before we put the taps back in. Ignition on. I keep reaching over the other side for ignition, but the Rocket 3 is on the other side, so I need to get used to this side. Oil lights on, quick priming kit, choke on. Nothing. Maybe she's a bit flooded. There she goes. Nothing. She fired. Might be a bit retarded now. Let's just check a plug. Yeah, wet. I flooded her, I think. Not too bad. Right, we'll leave choke off, ignition on, and we'll give her a few kicks to clear her with full throttle. Firing and moving around a lot. Check spark. She's firing but only on one and a bit tame. Maybe I backed it off too far. Massive spark. Left hand pot very wet. Check spark. Yep. Yep. Good spark. Ignition off. think I must have flooded her. Might have to leave her a bit actually, but we'll just give her another go. No choke. Still reaching over the wrong side for the ignition. No. Right, I'm going to leave her, warm the plugs up, come back, and I'm probably going to maybe advance the timing just on the back plate, so we'll do both points at once by just a degree or two. Okay, it's about 5 minutes later. Grabbed a cup of tea. I've just moved the points back plate 1 or 2 degrees advanced, so to advance both cylinders at the same time. And we'll give her a go. Not going to tickle her, just ignition on, no throttle. Oh, there you go. Just about there. She definitely gets over choked. Yeah, definitely over choked. Moving around a bit still. Come back. Nearly there. Right, just hang on up. Richen her up a little on the idle screws. So we're at 1, half, 1, and a touch. Richen it up just a touch. It's not picking up off tick over. Hear me puffing away. Okay, I've just taken the plugs out. They're both wet as hell. So that means the cylinders are too. So I'm going to leave the plugs out, let it dry out overnight, and we'll come back again tomorrow and give it another go. I'm not going to adjust the timing again just yet, not until I make sure that we're not introducing other variables like, as I say, wet plugs, etc. So back tomorrow. Right, hi again everyone. So it's a few days later, because I've been away the last couple of days of the weekend, so it's now Monday the 6th of July. So I've just put the spark plugs back
into the A70, stone cold, and we'll see if we can do a start with the new timing, and with the points now being set at the correct gap. With the timing being slightly retarded from where it was, then I don't expect this to tick over now without us adjusting the carbs, but I just want to see if it fires up well from cold, because to recollect, then the last time I attempted to start it, I flooded it and it was well flooded. So we've dried it all out, put the plugs back in, fuel on, choke on. You got a view from the other side this time, from the Rocket 3 side, as I've been moving stuff about a bit. Right, quick tickle just to get the fuel through. There we are, not too much. Okay, choke on, bit of a priming kick, plenty of comp, ignition on. Nothing, nearly. Bit less choke. Firing all right, just not picking up. I think what you have to do is tickle it, but then not over choke it, just to give it a bit more air. Might be a bit too retarded. Oil pressure's good, but she sort of dropped off one cylinder there briefly. I've richened the idle screws up a bit, maybe I've gone a bit too much. I'm just going to turn the idle screws out a touch. But the good news is she sounds crisp and there's no rattles or anything at all. So that's good. Right. Half, one, half, 1 1/4. Go around here and do it properly. Half, 1 1/4. Right. See what we got on this time. Bit of a tickle. Ignition. That's better. That's better.
Not quite right. Mind you, I'd take the choke off and it's still cold. Right, I'm going to leave it there for now, and what I'm going to do next is check the timing again, and also I'm going to check the handbook and the workshop manual just to confirm what the initial starting point should be for the pilot screws on the carb. It's all jetted, slide and needles are all at the position as per the handbook, and the handbook is for the A65 and the A70. It's a 72 handbook, so it does have the A70 settings in there separately listed to the A65, so we should be all right with that. But I'm going to check the timing again once more, and what I'll do then is make sure it's running okay, and then we'll take it out for a test ride. So I'll see you in the next video, hopefully in a couple of days time, for the next test ride, when we know the sun's going to be shining one evening, and we'll get the GoPro out again. Right, that's where we are for now. Anyway, seems to be running okay, no noises, nothing serious, so I think we're pretty sure it was chronic pre-ignition, so we can't wait to take it out for the next test run. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Thanks for everyone's interests, comments and any subscriptions, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks a lot. Cheers.